Hello and welcome back to today's Hurricane Outlook and discussion, recording on 24th of June. Today we're going to be looking at newly designated Invest 95L in the main development region. So we're just going to be discussing its environment and its potential to become a depression or storm over the next couple of days. Taking a look at sea surface temperatures where the storm is located, the NHC does have the storm, I believe, somewhere off here, and it is sitting far south really of the normally where we see tropical waves coming off at around 10 north and a bit more north. This one's far south, so it's going to be having better conditions to develop in. So we can see really in this whole region we do have temperatures around 27 to 29 degrees. So that is well enough to support tropical cyclone development. But what's also very important is upper ocean heat content. And basically what this allows is for the tropical depression, storm, hurricane, whatever, to come over these waters and upwell warmer water, instead of upwelling cooler water. Like if a tropical, say, depression came off coast of Africa, got going, and then decided to take a hard north turn, it would run into less ocean heat content available for the storm to upwell warmer water. So in this case, it would be just upwelling cooler water. So that's also another key factor playing into the future of 95L's possibility for significant development. Taking a look at the wide view satellite today, we do see we have a nice low up here, a low up here really associated with jet stream, and here we do see our 95L sitting just off the coast of West Africa. Over here we do have 95E. This is expected to become a depression or storm as well. We're going to be focusing on more on this when it becomes a depression or storm. I'm talking about impacts to maybe the coast of Mexico, as this is going to come very close to Mexico. But what we can see really with 95L, we do have some rotation in the atmosphere with this storm, not with these thunderstorms. So there is some cyclonic vorticity associated with it. So taking a look at the potential track, I really don't want you to focus on these tracks over here. I want you to focus more on the tracks over the next 72 hours. And what the tracks are suggesting from these ensemble tracks is that we are expecting this to take more of a northward track and then go westward. So this would then not encounter some dry air to the north of this system. So what we're going to have to watch for is this potential north track and how far it gets north, because if it gets more north to the Cape Verde Islands, for example, and rides a bit more westwards after just south to the Cape Verde Islands, it could entrain some more dry air. And we're going to take a look at that on the model runs. But first we're going to look at the 850 millibar cyclonic vorticity in the atmosphere. And basically what this chart is just showing is the cyclonic spin atmosphere. Your darker reds are your more cyclonic vorticity in the atmosphere. And this can represent a stronger system as we get more red colours. So as we move around time, we see on this particular GFS run, what we see is we do see this large area of rotation, and what normally happens with these large areas, these take time to consolidate, and what sometimes happens is we get competing vortexes. But I definitely think, I think from a satellite view we don't see multiple. I think we do have a nice surface flow starting to develop with this system. So don't take this literally, as the model runs are just a possibility of what could happen, and I don't think there are multiple vortexes. I do think there's just gonna be one dominant, and I think we had a couple of ASCAP passes that showed that it has just one possibility of a surface low being dominant. So don't take this literally on the GFS run. But what this is showing is this, with this broad area rotation, we do see a spin up on the northern edge. And if we track this back real quick and look, we do see that this did start a bit more south, and what's happened is with this broad area of rotation, rotating anti-clockwise, basically what this does, it pushes this vorticity spin to the north more, and so this is going to have an impact on 95L's future, as if the more north it gets, the more encounters to dry air that it will receive. So as you see on this run, we do see that it does generate a closed isobar, meaning a line of constant pressure. So as we move on time, we do see, yeah, it tries to sustain itself. Maybe a weak depression or storm, depending on how much convection is firing around the whatever center is down there, closed or open. But as we run out of time, we do see that we don't really see any significant development through the whole MDR region, and this is just because of the GFS run. It's more further north, so it's going to be sitting closer to this high pressure, and there's a lot of dry air in this area, as we'll see once we get to the precipitation, not precipitation, sorry, the relative humidity in the atmosphere. So if we take a look at that, the 200 winds, and basically what this is showing is the wind shear high up in the atmosphere. And then for people who don't know what wind shear does to these systems, it just really pushes the thunderstorms off the low center and mid-level center, and this can sometimes tilt the centers. As some of you might have heard of that word. It tilts the centers, so instead of them being vertically stacked, we have a low center and a mid-level center tilted, so they're not vertically stacked. And what this vertically stack allows is for more significant development, with thunderstorms covering the whole region of these two things. This one, maybe a tilted mid-level, so low-level and mid-level center might be an issue for this storm. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll take a look at this wind shear potential. We do see that there is some westerly wind shear due to this I forgot my words. Anyway, westerly wind shear here, and we can see as we go on time, we do get the GFS does get a low pressure center down to 110 millibars, and if we take a general sound in this area, we can see what is happening more. We don't really see any directional wind shear. We just do see a lot of westerly flow. So we don't see any like directional wind shear. It might be just a bit of speed shear that this system's going to have to deal with. So as we move on time, we see that the wind shear never gives up in this region, and we can take another sounding, and we'll get the same kind of result. We just see it's more of a speed shear instead of directional, as we do to see the same direction of wind in all levels of the atmosphere. And as we carry on time, we see that just maybe by the 5-day mark, we might get a bit of a break in the wind shear profile of speed shear, and maybe this storm can intensify more easily than it has to do in the main development region. Down the line, we can see that we do get this a bit of a northeasterly wind shear, and I haven't actually really taken a sounding of this area either, so it'll be interesting to see what we've got. No, just some change of the wind direction in the tops of the atmosphere, but again, all the way through the atmosphere, it's very much all the same direction of wind flow. So yeah, and on this, it doesn't really have how much of a wind shear. Total only about 3 knots. So that's not much really. And as we move on time, we do see that maybe the Western Caribbean might become a bit of a player later down on the line. Let's take a look at the relative humidity. This is 700 to 400 millibars in the atmosphere. As we go in time, we see where this system's got now. It does have a good moisture plume with it, but what we can see is that this very dry air to the north, and even some more dry air down here, and less dry air in this pocket over here. But what we can already see, by 24 hours, this thing's already trying to wrap some some dry air into the system. As we move on in time, we can just see that this becomes a bit more apparent as we get in time, where we get dry air trying to wrap around the south side, and we do get a low pressure center underneath this deep convection. And now this is the key point: is when this low pressure does get closed off and starts to develop, how fast is it going to develop? How strong will it get? And this is going to be a big player, as if we can get some outflow, some polar outflow, we can just start to push this dry air really a bit away from this system. And this is what sometimes hurricanes do when dry air is around. This outflow helps push away dry air, and if this system does manage to get some going before it encounters this dry air to the north, it could lead to a bit more self-sustained system, and maybe just maybe, I'm not saying it's going to happen as we're so far out still, maybe bring some impacts to the Lesser Antilles and the Lesser Antilles and the islands surrounding it. So I have to keep an eye on this on Lesser Antilles, but it all really depends on what happens with this system. As on the GFS we can see there is dry air to the north, but it's not like it's getting really entrained really, but it is weakening the system as less convection is firing around this whatever center is there. But we do see on the GFS it kind of just rides the trade winds really, becoming a depression or weak tropical storm. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for any stop in development for dry air. But let's take a look at the Euro model, and if you saw yesterday's runs, we did get a very good, very surprising run from the Euro model. To be honest, we did see the Euro model spin up something over here, rise it across the Atlantic Mediterranean region, and brings it into the Western Caribbean. So yeah, we did get a surprise run from the Euro model from a couple of yesterday's runs, but now as we move out time, yeah, the same suggestion is on the Euro model we do get this elongated rotation of low pressure, but we do start to see maybe just a sign of a spin up on the northern side. But then again, as we move on time, we see that nothing really does develop from this wave, and I think the NHC and pretty much the whole weather community, we do expect some sort of development with this system. But again, it all depends on how far north does this system get. And I've just realised, I'm sorry guys, when I said 10 degrees north at the beginning of the video, I did mean 15 degrees north. I'm so sorry for that. But we do see that the NHC do have a moderate chance over the next 5 days of particular development in this orange area. So, and orange area, and the key thing to point out, this orange area is showing where development could be. So development could be further south and ride this line of development, or it could be on the further northern side and develop over there. So I think the weather community and the NHC are expecting some sort of development with this system. If it's a depression or a storm, we'll have to see. And I should just get up the Euro ensembles real quick. Loop, what we're doing, get a loop. So if I take out the model, and right, we can see on the Euro model again, it's the same sort of thing we got to watch out for. It starts off farther south. We got to see how far north it gets, but as long as it don't get too far north, it really shouldn't have an issue with this dry air. It could. I'm not saying it's impossible, but there is a bit more chance of further development if the system's further south and avoids the dry air, or again, if a system trying to get developed a bit more down here, and if it gets some outflow going on the northern side, we definitely could see it trying to push that dry air away, and maybe helps itself sustain itself. As we go out in time, we do see that on this Euro model run, we do see that there is a lot of ensemble support for potential systems to start form down here, rides north and to go some straight west journey, and then again some of the models drop off on this after this time because they believe that the dry air to the north is just too much, And then what we do see is this potential for some kind of redevelopment down here if it does not develop out in this area. We do see on these particular Euro model runs, we do see this main track where I don't really worry about what strength or where this is going, but we do see like maybe this one ensemble member is showing some particular of redevelopment down the line in the Western Caribbean. Taking a look at the GFS ensemble members, if we run these guys out, we can see that there is a lot of support from the GFS ensemble members, and some of these really get a tropical storm going by 2 to 3 days out. So some of the GFS members are suggesting a tropical depression or storm in this area by this time frame. Moving out in time, we see that it got some more model support from the GFS ensembles, that more ensembles are thinking that the system wouldn't have died off by this time. And we do see that we got some models still suggesting a tropical storm in this area. As we move out in time even more, we do see a bit of a divergence. So I'm not going to show you any further out because we are beyond the 5-day point right now. We do see some ensemble members taking this storm into the Western Caribbean. We do see this particular one taking it more north. We do have some more further south. We do see some a bit more further east as the system is taking longer to move across the main development region. So there's a lot to play for really in the next coming days. We got to see where this centre becomes and see what develops in the early stages. But what we can really see, if I take you back to the satellite view, is that dry air coming off Africa and the dry air that is in this region, even though you can't see it on satellite imagery. But we do see some of that dry air is kind of getting wrapped into the system. But we do see some nice turning with this system. Maybe the suggestion of a low-level centre, maybe not closed, as we do see some low-level clouds moving in this direction and some in this direction. So maybe the possibility of a low centre already formed, some closed or not closed. We'll have to see what in the next passes show, but for the Lesser Antilles, you're gonna have to watch out for this. And maybe the Cape Verde Islands, maybe just keep an eye on it because it could become more. It could move further north. I don't think it will though. As if I show you really quickly the if I show you the steering patterns really for the next couple of days, we do see that we do have a pretty much a dominant high, the Bermuda high, the Azores high. We do get a we do get an area of low pressure in the mid-North Atlantic, and we do get and we do get start to see a bit of a weakness in this area, but nothing that's going to stop push the system out to sea. But what we're going to focus on is this area of high pressure. We do see that most of the wind things are going to be pushed in the system to the west as wind around high pressure goes clockwise, so it'll be pushing everything westward, and we do see a definitely a strong signature of something in the Eastern Pacific. We'll discuss more about that in a video where we do get a defined low-level center and the NHC. I'll probably make a video on it when they name it a tropical depression or a potential something, so I'll make a video on that when that happens. But that's all for today's video. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. And just by the way, I do have a Twitter, so if you'd like to follow me on there, you are more than welcome. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in tomorrow videos. Sorry for no upload yesterday, just had a crisis, so daily uploads should be resuming from today, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.